You're listening to fecalface.com.
So we'll just go ahead and kind of jump into a question that was submitted through Twitter. It's from Bix Burnett, and he wanted to know, did Matt ever dream of that would be you, by the way. If you ever dreamt of making an animation, really loves your work. What do you say about that?
Hi, Bix Burnett. I have always dreamed of one day making an animation. For now, I like to make single drawings and comics and watch the animation in my mind. But seriously, someone help me do this the real way. I want to learn animation and hire animals to hand color the animation cells. Monkeys would do a great job, but I'll settle for otters. Thanks for your question, and remember, life is animation.
Oh, that's a great answer, Matt. I appreciate that. Thanks for your question, Bix. If you have a question for Matt Furie, you're encouraged to either Twitter it to us, or you can email it, contact@fecalface.com, and also Facebook. Matt has stepped out of the building to use the restroom. I'm John Tripp, your Fecal Face guy, and I don't even know what... We should have a little bit of music in the background, huh, Matt?
I think that's a good idea.
Whoa, your voice changed. Well, so let's see here real quick. We're just, we need some music in the background. Why don't we do an old Fecal Face mix of some sort? How about Sober Tober from Dave Potes? We'll put that in the background. How's that sound?
Hey, Dave.
We'll just skip ahead. I hate that first song. So, yeah, if you have a question for Mr. Matt Furie, anyway, we'll just continue here. Mr. Schmarty Pants would like to know through Twitter, have you overthought of doing, well, I guess he probably meant ever. I know you have boys club. Have you ever thought about doing a girls club? Your zine, he's referring to your zine.
Hi, this is Matt Furie.
Hey, thanks for your question. What was it again? I'm sorry.
He would like to know if you've ever thought about doing a girls club, because you've done a boys club zine.
Oh, that's a great question, actually. I have not. Not really into the whole girl thing, but my girlfriend actually has done a few strips called Girls Club. And the girls, like, I think there's a booger joke and maybe a joke about their period.
And you're at what, number 3 of the boys club?
I actually just put out the 4th issue of Boys Club on Pigeon Press, publisher outside of Oakland.
How did you get involved with Pigeon Press?
Well, Alvin got in touch with me. He runs Pigeon Press through the internet, and liked my drawings and stuff, and saw a zine that I put out called Boys Club and wanted to publish it. So, and the rest...
It's history.
It's history. I'm a rich man now.
Really? Wow. So, actually, we got tons of questions to get through, but you're from Ohio, yeah? Originally?
Yes.
Which I grew up in Ohio, pretty much. What part of Ohio? You're like from Cleveland, right?
You grew up more like in Michigan, practically.
Well, Toledo. It's like an hour away from Cleveland. What got you to San Francisco?
I moved out here kind of on a whim. I graduated college, and a college roommate wanted to move out to San Francisco, and I had a car, and so I was 21 years old, and I just hopped in the car and went on a trip, and basically never came back after that. But it was a fun road trip, and I really love San Francisco, and it made me the man I am today, even though I have kind of a high-pitched voice.
Wait, when was that? What year was that when you first came out here?
2001.
2001. And what were some of the first things that you did when you got to San Francisco?
Well, I actually lived in Daly City when I first moved here, and that was fun. You know, we had a house, and it was always foggy out there, and there's a giant graveyard in Colma, and there's a place called Sarah Bowl that we'd go to a lot, and they had bowling and karaoke. That was a lot of fun.
That place is great.
Yeah.
They have, like, what, $5 pitcher beers and special Thursday night stuff?
Yeah, it was something good like that. The karaoke was definitely awesome. Like, there were some real, like
serious
karaoke that would go there, and I had never seen that before, so I was thoroughly entertained.
Your voice, it's changed. What happened to you had something in your throat? Oh, hey, we have a
Hi, this is Matt Furie.
Hi, Matt.
Hey.
So we're going to continue with your questions. We got one from Michael, who is a contributor, obviously, to Fecal Face. He wrote, could talk about how you came up with the zine Boy's Life. It's so damn funny, he says. Thank you, sir. I like your...
I can't come to the telephone. Do-da, do-da. Leave your message when you hear the tone. Oh, the do-da-day.
Hey, thanks for the question. How'd I come up with Boy's Life?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Boy's Life is basically for anthropomorphic characters, and I don't know how I came up with it. Actually, John and I were just talking about a cartoon that's on Cartoon Network called Problem Solvers that just came out. And
Ben Jones.
It's done by Mastermind Ben Jones, and I was into his comics and zines that I actually got introduced to via the internet, and then I went to like the Alternative Press Expo in San Francisco and picked up some of his zines and was really inspired, and it really inspired me to do Boys Club, that and shows like Ren and Stimpy and Beavis and Butthead, and just like kind of that weird subversive cartoons that were on like MTV and stuff growing up in the early 90s.
Neon Flux.
Neon Flux was awesome. Yeah.
We have a question from Sounding 1972, Jennifer Kuehler. Do you go through several drafts when you write Boys Club, or is it just a stream of consciousness? And where do ideas come from?
I'll call you back someday.
Wow.
Hey, thanks for your question. When I have an idea, I just like write it down. For the most part, I've stayed to this like 6-panel grid, so it's kind of like the setup and punchline are contained within 6 panels, and I kind of have that in my head, and then a joke will come to mind, or like a memory of, some like weird college experience or high school experience about, either getting high or getting too drunk or, doing whatever, would pop into my head, and then I just write it down and then put it into the comic. So it was basically kind of just to entertain myself.
And then today you played hooky.
Oh yeah, definitely played hooky today.
You and some frisbee?
Indeed, yeah. I called up my friend Dave, who's also from Ohio, and asked him if he wanted to go to Kabuki Hot Springs today and take a bath with me. But he suggested going to the beach instead, so we went to this great beach called Gray Whale Cove. And a friend of ours, our friend Nicole, had just gotten a convertible and a small dog, so we had a convertible, a small dog, and some friends, and went to the beach and just hung out in the sun and played frisbee.
That sounds really nice.
It was awesome.
It's going to be even warmer tomorrow. Next question. Are you ready for the next question, Matt?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's go to an email. We have a lot of emails, too. We'll go to the first email, which this question came in all the way from Lawrence, Kansas. Wonder Fair, which is a gallery and store in Lawrence, Kansas.
Oh, yeah, I know those guys. Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Do you know Eric Dobbins?
Yeah, I've communicated with him for sure over the information superhighway. Hey, Eric, how are you?
Well, he's not here anymore. This was at 12:30 in the afternoon. He sent this email.
Nice to hear from you, Eric. Great. Go ahead and say what you needed to say.
He's got a silly question for you, Matt, that he'd like to toss into the mix. He's really looking forward to it. Dear Matt, what is the favorite thing that you've ever drawn before?
Wanting, waiting for you.
Favorite thing that I want to draw.
No, that you've ever drawn.
Oh, ever drawn.
Your favorite thing that you've ever drawn. Past tense.
Man, you just blew my mind with that question. Probably
cheeseburger.
I draw a lot of drooling skulls. and a friend of mine called me out on that a while ago and said that I drew too many drooling skulls. And now I'm happy to say I make a livelihood drawing things like drooling skulls. So I think that's my best thing, I guess.
What about that gigantic piece? You haven't worked in such a large scale. I really like that one of a complete epic war scene. Do you remember? What was the title of it? That was years ago.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago. Actually, an artist friend of mine ended up getting that. My friend Matt Lines, and
Lucky.
he, yeah, that was awesome that he bought that. But anyways, I should do more stuff like that. But honestly, I've been kind of lazy lately, and just kind of, I like just. That one was more like a novel for me, and the drawings I'm doing these days are more like poems.
Oh, okay. That was a great piece. Matt
you.
is very lucky to have it. Next question comes in from San Diego, Wales Vagina. Mike Maxwell, really great guy. I'll just go ahead and sort of read his email question. Your work is very whimsical and childlike on the surface. The figures often look like they could be a stuffed animal or toy. However, these figures find themselves portrayed in very adult situations, which I find to be an interesting contradiction. I'd like to know, what did your drawings look like when you were a kid?
Hello. You have reached 4353949. We
just
are
gave your
currently
phone.
unable to answer because we are either chasing or being chased by bats. Please leave a message.
That's a good question. When I was a kid, I drew like stuff that most kids were drawing. Like I did stuff with my cousin Dave called Secret Cities, where we would just draw out like big space stations and stuff like that, and draw like gun turrets and satellites and weapons and planes and stuff like that. And I graduated into doing like more Dungeons and Dragons style stuff, like warriors with swords and a lot of dragons and stuff like that.
Did you used to play Dungeons and Dragons?
Excuse me. Yeah, I played for a little bit.
Yeah. What level did you get to?
Man, I can't remember. I played this campaign called The Dark Sun, where it was like based in like a desert kind of place. I don't remember my character, but I also played a Star Wars campaign, and I played a Wookiee, and I remember getting like
They had Star Wars?
yeah, they had a Star
Wow.
Wars one, and I got like charisma or points for like actually doing the Wookiee noise during a battle.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Who gave you the points? Your other
it
gamers?
it was my friend Brian Spurl's older brother, who was very competitive.
And he gave you the extra points.
Yeah, he hooked me up.
Yo. Moving on. Thank you for your question, Mike.
Wait, did I even answer the question?
Yeah, you went into different childhood drawings that you did.
Okay.
If you have a question for Mr. Matt Furie, you're more than welcome to email contact@fecalface.com. You can also Twitter and Facebook. If you go to Fecal Face, we have links to our Twitter and our Facebook. How you doing over there, Matt?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So we're moving on. This question comes in from, Tripper Dungan the Third.
What's up, Tripper?
Between Skeletor and the Hamburglar, who would win in a clean thumb wrestling match? Tripper Dungan.
Hi, this is Matt Furie advising you that you spend way too much time on the phone. Go outside, see the world, live a little, have fun.
I hope that answers your question, Tripper. Actually, Rebecca Valinsky, she has a question. She's actually from Romania. You're quite popular in Romania, I guess. Question is, what are your... Oh, this is actually... I'd like to know this question. Some of your favorite comics. I would like to go a little bit deeper. Not just general, but your favorite comics now and your favorite comics growing up. And were you into comics actually growing up?
Great question. Thank you. Yeah, I like.
You're welcome.
I like comics. Some of the stuff I've been reading lately. I like CF's Power Masters. I think they're on Power Masters 3 now, and that's put out by Picture Box. I like anything by Johnny Ryan. It's just like really offensive juvenile humor, and I can really relate and identify with that kind of stuff. Lisa Hannawalt is doing some really cool gross out comics. She's got a series going on Pigeon Press called I Want You. And probably my favorite comic is called Tales from Green Fuzz by Will Sweeney. And he is a artist and illustrator out of London, England. And he does like these great psychedelic comics about like little sandwiches and hot dog enemies and women that are made up of a broccoli flower and all kinds of cool shit. And growing up, I was into like I like the Max. That was probably one of my favorite ones, like when Image Comics was coming out. Just because it was like surreal and weird, and I really liked the style of it. And even earlier than that, I was into like X-Men and stuff like that. But honestly, I think I just like collecting the cards, and I like collecting the comics because of their covers. I didn't really read a lot of comics. I had a shitload of comics, but I didn't really read them.
Did you like the smell?
Next on Public Radio 91, we'll be hearing music of Antonin Dvorak. This is the Beep Serenade in C sharp minor, Opus 72.
You're listening to FecalFace.com. We're here with Mr. Matt Furie, and we're listening to this really great song. And we're just kind of making
Hi, this is Matt Furie.
Hi, Matt. How's it going? Thank you again for coming over here to Fecal Face's satellite office in the Mission, where we keep all of our technical radio podcasting gear.
This is cool. I feel like I'm in mission control over here.
We have a question from Weston. So I'm pretty bad at pronouncing people's last names, and I don't want to pronounce it poorly. Doucette? I'll just say Doucette. Weston Doucette has a question, and I'm just going to read it verbatim. Hey, Matt, I was wondering if you've ever had people criticize your cartoon drawings as not a true type of art, in quotations, and also what type of advice would you give to a young aspiring artist? Yours truly.
Sorry, I'm far too depressed to come to the phone. If you can be bothered, leave a message after the sound of the gunshot, and maybe somebody will call you, I guess.
Sorry about that. I got you off there, John.
The question is basically just wanting to know if you've ever had people like criticize your drawings as not a true form of quote-unquote art, and what kind of advice would you give to a young artist making their way through the internet art world and physical art world that we exist in 2011, approaching 2012 in approximately 10 or so months?
Wow. I guess the thing that I get criticized for is that I'm kind of aware of, but try not to do too much, is just basically writing comic books. It's kind of for a loser. So I lost big time in that department.
So people call you a loser?
Yeah, they call me names, man, but I just gotta stay strong.
You gotta forge ahead. But I think what he was trying to get to with this question is, I don't know. Can you get anywhere with that question? I guess, is there a difference between drawing cartoons and what some might consider art?
My biggest advice, especially for a young artist starting out, is to just follow your own instincts and to do art for yourself. And I got into doing comics because I was inspired by other comic book artists and illustrators, and I'm constantly struggling with this, like whether I'm an artist or an illustrator or cartoonist or whatever. But it's kind of pointless to put a name on it. Just like if you're doing it for yourself and to entertain yourself and your friends, then like that's why you're doing it. And if like it starts catching on, then that's even better. But it's not necessarily, doesn't have to. As long as you're like having a lot of fun doing it, and you're putting your true self into it, and you're doing it for the right reasons, then. But at the same point in time, I do a comic about like mostly fart humor and like getting too drunk and stuff like that. So sometimes I think maybe I could be spending my time more wisely.
Interesting. Moving on. We have a question from... Thank you for the question, Weston Doucet. I believe I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong. I apologize. Paul Windle, probably also pronouncing his name wrong. He has a two-part question. Return of the Quack is rad. So... Oh, wait.
Thanks for your question.
Do you see yourself doing more games in the future? And to kind of illustrate what we're talking about, do you want to just sort of what is Return of the Quack?
Well, Return of the Quack was a great project. Eric Nakamura from Giant Robot got in touch with me and was basically trying to put an artist with like a indie game designer. This kid is like 21 years old, and he's from Canada, and he did all of the programming for the game, and like basically I just did all the backgrounds and all the characters for the animations and all of the little explosions and stuff like that. And he took care of like stringing it all together and telling me how to like animate the hamburger that shot the patties out and everything like that. So it was a really cool experience, and I would love to do another one. It's like a Flash-based game, so like hopefully I can hook up with the same team and do a Return of the Quack 2.
And we actually kind of talked about this a little bit earlier about I think someone else also asked a question about animation, and we talked about Ben Jones's cartoon on the Cartoon Network. Have you ever thought about doing an animation? Has anyone ever approached you about doing one? I mean, I think it would be great.
Well, I think I should mention first from the last question, the guy that programmed it his name was Chevy Ray Johnson, and he does a website called flashpunk.com, and that kind of like helps indie game designers, like gives them shortcuts and stuff for making games, I guess. But I've considered, I think it's a good time for animation right now. I've definitely got emails from people that are, I've worked with Nickelodeon and gotten some emails from people that were somehow hooked up with Cartoon Network and stuff like that. And I guess like a lot of like cool shit's being made right now. So
Jay Hal, I mean, yeah. I think we can kind of doing stuff with Nickelodeon. That's pretty awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, that's really cool. So I think it's a good time for like indie artists to be getting into animation and stuff. But at the same time, there's something like I just like having all the... It's not necessarily a lot of money, but I like having complete creative control over something, because I think when you get to that point, you're depending on writers and animators and like a whole team of people to kind of like realize your vision or whatever, which is cool, but kind of overwhelming at the same time.
I think it would be great if you had a cartoon.
You're dazed, bewildered, trapped in a world without time, where sound collides with color and shadows explode.
I think you touched right on the point of what we're all feeling at the moment. Excuse me. If we can continue here, we have lots of questions to get through. I would say so far these podcasts, you're definitely getting much more questions asked.
That's what I'm talking about, people.
Let's do this. This one's from Walt. That's a great name. Gorky. Walt Gorky. He would like to know, he's wondering about your process, Matt, in the interactive Return of the Quack game. again. That was recently at Scion JMMNMM in Los Angeles. I think we just answered that question basically. It just wanted to know if you were doing any future animation games or any of that sorts of.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Leave your name and number and prepare to die.
Wow, that's good. Weston, oh, he's back. He has another question. P.S. One more. This is actually a good one, I think. Your favorite horror movie gore scene? Do you have a favorite horror movie gore scene?
Oh, at first I thought you said my favorite horror movie.
Horror movie or horror? What's your favorite horror movie?
Like
Pretty
Basic Instinct.
Pretty in Pink.
Yeah. My favorite horror movie. Shit. I don't know.
I meant the Julia Roberts one, not Pretty in Pink. What's the Julia Roberts thing?
Oh yeah, Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman.
Pretty
yeah.
Woman,
Not Pretty
yeah.
in Pink.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been not listening to.
Friday
but,
the 13th.
Friday the 13th is cool, but that's just kind of a slasher.
Yeah.
I like watching like Dario Argento's films, like Suspiria and that kind of thing. I can't remember the names offhand, but he's an Italian horror movie guy that was he kind of made his peak in the 80s, and it was cool because the stories were really good, but the acting was kind of campy and cheesy. It was always like overdubbed. But the lighting was beautiful and the kill scenes were awesome. Ayana and I just watched one called like The Opera or something, about this chick who gets cursed after like getting the lead role in the opera, and this guy ends up like killing everybody affiliated with it or whatever. And there's this one scene where this dude gets stabbed in the back of the head and you can see the blade coming out of his mouth, like through his throat and then out of his mouth, and I thought that was really artistic. So that was cool. It was subtle, yeah. So I don't know, anything by Argento is pretty good, except some of his movies are crap, but Suspiria, I guess, is one of my favorites.
Excellent. Weston, if you're still listening, keep them coming. You got some good questions. This one is from Ben Clark, and I'm not even previewing these. I'm just going for it. Just gonna read it straight off.
Oh, hey, John, I gotta ask you a personal question.
Sure.
Actually, you probably don't want to air this, but I think I need a password to get onto your thing. Is it Rocky's house?
Oh no, it's the one with a bunch of weird numbers and stuff.
Okay.
And hey, it's skate or die.
Really?
Of course, yeah. Why not?
All right, people. So if you're ever in the neighborhood, skate or die.
If you ever want to get on my internet, it used to be skate or die. Now it's skate or dead.
Wait,
Okay.
Is it skate or die or die?
Hey Jessica, what is it?
Oh yeah, that's it. Skate or die.
Skate with an 8. Without an 8, we spelled out.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
All right, skate or die. No wait, everybody.
Thanks, 20 people that are listening.
No, we're up to 75.
Whoa!
Whoa. Okay, here we go. So Ben Clark, he wrote, he's getting ready to graduate from art school, Ringling College in Sarasota, Florida, with a degree in graphic design. He's having a hard time keeping himself interested in what he's doing. A lot of that probably has to do with the fact that I'm working on projects I wouldn't necessarily create outside of this experience. But my question to you is, how do you keep yourself motivated to just create and stay interested in what you're making for yourself and for your clients? Question mark.
Wow, that's a really good question. Well, when I first started out, I'm from Ohio, and John's from Ohio, and I moved out to San Francisco to try to like become an artist, because it's one of the most beautiful cities in the United States, and apparently there's a lot of artists here and a lot of great spaces to show art and stuff like that. So I basically just kind of moved out here with like about $1,400 and got a day job working at a picture frame shop, and would just do art on the weekends and after my job and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think that if you're just doing it for yourself, and even if you have to make artwork within a certain, if you're working professionally as an illustrator or as a web designer or anything like that, you just got to make time to do it for yourself too, I guess. And I guess that's
Do you mind if I jump in real quick?
not at all.
That just reminds me, I had a lot, when I first moved here, lived with a lot of skateboarders, and a lot of them went to San Francisco Art Institute, and my good buddy at the time, Patrick, went there, and one thing he said to me always just stayed with me, and it was basically during that period, I don't know if people are still talking about that there, but that the most important thing you can do is get a job. First, obviously, if you have an interest and a passion, like get to a big city like San Francisco or New York or something like that, or Chicago, where there's a support network, but get a job doing something that isn't actually related in your art field, so that like you can wait tables or whatever, and then when you get home at night you have a lot of energy and passion about creating whatever art you want to create. I don't know, I just hear so many people who, are interested in art, and obviously everyone's different, but, graphic design, illustration, people who want to work professionally in that, and also do their own personal work. I can't imagine, like, expending all that creative energy coming up with Microsoft logos and then wanting to actually go home and focus on your art. Personally, I don't know. And I think getting a lot of, it seems, some emails from younger people. Just seems like the most important thing is to do it now, while you have the energy and you don't have a wife or a child or like anything like that, just to...
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I guess I never really saw it that way, but I just kind of stumbled into it because I've always liked drawing, and it's always been like a great escape for me. And I always knew, like, after I graduated college, I wanted to be an artist. I didn't necessarily know how to do it, except for just to work really hard, So you just got to get... Yeah, it's fine just getting some bullshit job that you can just go to, and then you're done with it, and then you got all this free time. Especially, if you're not committed to a family or you're in a new atmosphere, then you can just, like, you got to create the space in your house. I've always just done my artwork in my own house, just like at my desk. So, and I'm still doing that. And I think it's just important to have that structure and just do it yourself,
Thank you for the question, Ben. We're gonna. We got some good questions this evening. You're listening to FecalFace.com. Obviously, that URL that you loaded into iTunes was FecalFace and not. I see your email, Mr. Travis Millard, sent at 9:13 p.m. Pacific time. Is anyone listening on the West Coast? Or the East Coast, I mean? The other side of United States of America?
You should give him a phone number. What's your cell phone number?
Like, I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah. I mean, everyone, I'm sure, would be nice and friendly and stuff, but they do have every other way to contact at the minute. If anyone's listening on, I don't know, anywhere outside of San Francisco or outside of California. I guess we got some... Anyway, I'm babbling now. Sorry about that. That's what a bathroom break will do to you. So we're here with Mr. Matt Furie, and you're listening to, I don't know, live streaming FecalFace.com interview with Matt Furie. We're just going to kind of continue Schmarty Pants through Twitter, our Fecal Face at Twitter. I don't know, I like this one. He wrote, "Cats or dogs?" ? And then he wrote, or cats with a K and a Z, or dogs. Dogs.
You do not really understand something unless you can explain it to your grandmother.
Sorry about that.
Dogs, I guess, with a Z. Dogs with a Z. With a W? DAWGZ?
DAWGZ or KATZ. Or you can go cats, normal English spelling, or dogs. This is actually a really good... Schmarty Pants has quite a few good questions, actually. I would like to know this question, because I think it... Do you like ranch dressing with your pizza?
DAWGZ.
Actually, ranch dressing on pizza is disturbing. Because I just watched a movie about it, and that's what they feed all the kids at schools.
Oh, is it like, what movie was that?
It's about.
The Food Inc. or something?
No, it was. What was it?
I haven't seen that.
It was about basically the obesity problem in America and how kids' lunch menus kind of affect that. And there's like actual footage of kids like dipping entire pepperoni pizzas into a vat of like ranch dressing.
Wow, that.
But to be honest, I do it all the time, and I love it.
Yeah, it's already taken something that's pretty junky and making it even more junky.
It's really good, and
I like to smoke cigarettes wrapped in bacon.
that's good too.
Yeah, that's really good. Let's see here. We have let's go back to email, contact@fecalface.com. Obviously, if you're listening live, if you've downloaded a podcast after January 25th, 2011, it's too late. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Frankie would like to know, it's Frankie Brack. He would like to know how you went about getting your comics published. But your first comics, like how did you actually get your first comics published?
The things I want to know are in books. My best friend is the man who will get me a book I ain't read.
I missed that. Can you repeat, please?
Sure. Hold on.
I didn't understand.
The things I want to know are in books. My best friend is the man who will get me a book I ain't read.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, books, especially comic books, contain some of the best wisdom and truths in America, if not in the universe. So, my interest in books are actually handed down to me from my grandfather, Abraham Lincoln.
Excellent question. And I would like to know, are you reading, besides comic books, are you reading anything specific right now?
I've been reading The Believer magazine, which is published here in San Francisco. And it's basically like reading a book.
Any good articles?
Yeah. Yeah, I just read an article today about these twins that were born in Melbourne, Australia. One of them is a scientist/mathematician, and the other one is more of an artist. And they're really into like really abstract mathematical, geometric, blah blah. I didn't really understand everything, but basically they found out that crocheting, or the act of crocheting, they could actually use like mathematical, geometric whatevers and remake what is it, coral reefs. So they would somehow knit together coral reefs. I can't really explain it right now very well, but
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Obviously, the reefs in Australia can be damaged, and
That shit is getting bleached as we speak.
excuse me, pardon me. Thank you for your question, Francis Brack. Not Black, Brack.
But I like reading nonfiction things, specifically like about like environmental shit, just because I like to know what's going on, and it's like the most disturbing and interesting stuff to read.
This next question comes from Mr. Travis Millard, who lives in a cabin in Echo Park. Can I say that, Travis? I hope I didn't. It's cool. I can't wait to go back to summer camp. Hope they're probably sitting in there. Have you been to their awesome place?
The time comes upon every public man when it is best for him to keep his lips closed.
I'd like to someday. I have not, but
They live in an amazing. We did a studio visit, so I'm not giving it away. But like on the backside of this hill in Echo Park is this grouping of cabins, and they live like they're at summer camp. It's amazing.
that's awesome. Yeah, I would love to come and visit sometime.
Yeah, you drive through Echo Park, and just it's city life, and then all of a sudden it turns into like, anyway, it's amazing. So Travis writes, "Hi, long-time listener, first-time question. Is your name pronounced Matt Furie, like cuddly creature, or Matt Fury, like murderous rage?"
That's a good question. And actually, my original name, which was given to my forefathers,
Your forefathers?
my forefathers in Sicily, was Fiore, which means flower.
Are you Sicilian?
Sicilian, yes.
Oh, and you're
Part.
from Cleveland. Are you part of the La Costa Nostra?
I'm not, but my last name is Sicilian. And yeah, it comes from the word fiore, which means flower. But then they changed it on, upon arriving in America, and changed it to. Hold on a second.
Yeah, what happens if he says your last name?
This is gonna be the final say, I think.
All right, here it comes.
Fury.
Oh, Fury.
There you have it. It's Fury.
Wow. And do you feel the pronunciation of your name has any reflection on the adorable and horrifying nature of your drawings? Good question, Travis.
Great question. Isn't there a quote that's like, "What's in a name?" Meaning, maybe, it makes me think that like, I already have a destiny, and my entire life and my nature and everything is already predetermined, and maybe my last name is a clue to that.
And what am I supposed to do? Just trip all over the place?
But tripping's a good thing, you go on trips,
Yeah, actually.
things are trippy. It's the spice of life.
Travis, if you're still listening, please follow-up question is in order, I believe. Weston Doucet. I'm not sure, he didn't actually respond. This is another question from him. Any crazy party stories from art school? Oh, yeah. Crazy. We need some music here.
Nope.
No, just kidding. Crazy party stories from college? Oh, I got a crazy story from college. I had this friend, his name was JP, and he was like kind of a weirder, artsy guy. And he didn't really communicate well with others, and he was always sketching in his sketchbook, and he was like a really cool guy, and he was a friend of mine. And one time he found a dead bird and decided to take it to the cafeteria with him. So we're all sitting there at the lunch table, and we like get all of our food and everything. Then he sits down and he flops down a giant like dead robin onto his plate, and then like carried it with him for like a week, and then came to a party at our house and bit its head off.
I was looking at questions on the computer, and then you were talking about a dead robin. Art school friend, slightly socially awkward, bites off head of dead robin. How dead was the robin? Freshly dead?
It was really dead.
Like
No,
in snow dead, or
no,
kind of
just-
muddy
just
curb dead?
I think it was freshly dead.
Oh, okay.
But he bit its head off.
And you saw it?
Yeah, I got a picture of him in mid-bite. That was gnarly.
And then he spit it out, obviously. Do you know they have... There might be some sort of bad things in there.
To my knowledge, he's still alive.
Okay, good. That's good. Actually, Bix Burnett is back, and he, or it could be she, is on the East Coast. Dark New York City basements represent. Does Matt really have a pizza earring that he wears when he draws? I think he does.
Yes.
When you draw?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you put it in before you start drawing? No, I'm serious. That's a legitimate question. Like, are you like, well, I need to sit down and get some stuff done. Where's my slice of pizza?
Hi, Bix Burnett.
No. I usually just wear this gold hoop earring. I've graduated the gold hoop earring. I decided I didn't need the pizza one anymore.
Oh yeah, you have a. Yeah, it's subtle. It's much more subtle.
I got it in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hotlanta.
Hotlanta.
Kristen Farr, who I know, she hears that you're big in Japan. And please tell us about your trip there last year.
Oh, it was a really great trip. Earlier I mentioned really being into this artist, Will Sweeney. And he's a London-based artist, and his wife is Japanese, and she organized a trip for us to both meet up in Japan. And he had an art show in a different spot, and I had an art show at this place called Beams Tea. And it was a really awesome experience. I spent about 2 weeks in Japan. I was there. I flew out there with my best friend Joe from college, and Japan is crazy. It's
What cities did you go to?
we were in Tokyo mostly, and it's like the super future out in Tokyo. You know, just you could stay up all night. We were in a bar. We were up in a bar. They don't leave until you leave. So we were actually up until like 11 a.m. 2 nights in a row just because they'll stick around. And we got free drinks and free food and everything. It was like we were rock stars. It was really cool.
Wow.
And my friend Will, who I'd met, the artist, he suggested going to Tokyo Tower in the basement. They had this wax museum. You know, it was basically like an Eiffel Tower, but a Japanese version. And they had this wax museum that had like a weird torture section, and they had like Gandhi and maybe some presidents and like some like, you know, political references. But then also they had like the singer from Metallica and Frank Zappa and like these obscure like progressive rock stars and stuff that are only big in Japan. And it was all mixed in the same wax museum, so that was really interesting. So I saw just a lot of weird shit while we were out there. We also went to Kyoto. And then we took a day trip out to this place called Iga that had a ninja museum. We saw a bunch of like, you know, history of the ninjas and saw all their weapons and, you know, what kind of people the ninjas were and stuff like that. It was a great experience.
How long were you out there for?
For just like 2 weeks.
Oh, sounds nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question, Kristen. Oh, we have someone, Benjamin Clark is listening in Florida right now. I want to be in Florida. Sounds nice and warm. Have you ever been to Florida?
Yeah, I lived in Fort Lauderdale for a while.
I was going to say that I've obviously been well aware of your work for a long time. I could see the colors. And for some reason, I just feel like the big plant leaves I could see in your pieces. Is any relation, you think? Or
Yeah, you know, my dad lived in Florida when I was a kid, and he had like a pool and like a canal in his backyard. We actually spotted an alligator back there once, and there's always lizards around and awesome ferns. And yeah, Florida's like the most tropical place you can get to in America besides like Hawaii.
yeah. Yeah, I think we, anyone out there has anything to say to Matt right now, this is your last shot. All right, Weston's back again. Are some of your this is we're ending on a pretty heated. Are some of your drawings supposed to represent rape? And should the radio dude, I guess that would be maybe me, be worried? You wouldn't try to rape me, would you?
No, two things that I think are wrong are rape and child molestation. So don't, any of you listening out there that are interested in either raping or molesting, stay away from that stuff. And be true to yourself, serve God only, and know that if you do, beautiful heaven awaits.
Does anything else need to be added?
Oh yeah, and one more thing. Bear with me here.
Hold on, everybody.
Read, nod.
That's it.
Read, not. So actually, I always like to know what people are up to. What are they working towards in the future? Like, I don't know, the next time we're going to talk to you, I'm sure it'll put all your news and information on Fecal Face, but what do you have coming down the line? I know that you have a show here in San Francisco at Needles and Pins. Is that this Friday?
Yeah, I actually have a zine release party this Friday at Needles and Pens, and I haven't talked to those guys, but hopefully the zine is ready and everything's good to go. And Stowe from Cinders in New York, he's going to be in town, and he's going to be playing some noise music and have some artwork up, and his buddy who's in his band is going to have some artwork. And I did a zine with this guy Sam Gaskin, and he's going to have some artwork in the show too. And I may have a few other, like Ayana might have some artwork and a few other friends. So I think it's going to be like a 3-day show coming up at Needles and Pens.
I have a question, since we were talking about Cinders. And Cinders, if people don't know, is sort of a like-minded gallery, like what we kind of all run around in, and Fecal Face and stuff. I know that their landlord raised the rent a whole bunch and they had to move. Do you know if they found a new spot? I hope they did.
From what I understand, they're in between spaces right now, and I think Stowe from Cinders is just going on a road trip now and doing like a tour with his band. So they're coming through San Francisco, and they're going to be here at Needles and Pens on Friday. Check it out.
6 to 9.
Oh, yeah, and if anybody out there has a PA system they can use. I haven't asked my friends yet, but they're looking for a PA system, so get in touch if you do. Just something small, because Needles and Pens is, it's a small.
You don't really need to blow it out.
Yeah, you don't need to blow it out.
And what kind of music is that, just out of curiosity?
I guess, like crazy noise stuff.
Oh, nice. Wow.
In war as in life, it is often necessary when some cherished scheme has failed to take up the best alternative open, and if so, it is folly not to work for it with all your might.
That was a quote from Abraham Lincoln.
Are you a... I just... we got a message from KQED Arts, actually. It's kind of nice. Talking about... they said, this is my favorite radio program, which... Michael Krasny, watch out. Fecal Face. And speaking of radio, are you a KUSF fan? Talking about some big changes happening in San Francisco radio.
I heard about the shady business with KUSF, how they got bought out, and then like part of the agreement was that like they couldn't announce they were bought out until like the last minute, so they couldn't really like raise money or raise awareness until the last minute. So it's
sounds like it was a deal between the people buying and University of San Francisco, and that all the negotiations actually happen behind closed doors.
Right. Outside of anybody involved with KUSF.
Yeah, last Tuesday they just kind of came in at 10 in the morning and said, "You're done.
Yeah.
Gotta go."
Some shady business, because KUSF is awesome. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I've listened to that for years, and it would be a shame to not have it.
Well, we're down at City Hall this afternoon, and Supervisors Marr and Mayor Karimi condemn University of San Francisco's actions, and kind of, I don't know what the city can do, but kind of wave a finger in the direction of the University of San Francisco. But as long as tons of people were down there, like 100 people, and I get the impression that there aren't that many people that go to Board of Supervisor meetings like that. So it's nice to see that all those people show up, and there was a line of you have some time to actually like voice your concerns to the Board of Supervisors, and the line was from the front to the back, and I actually didn't even stay that long. Anyway, so speaking of radio, I don't know what can happen in the future, but I support KUSF.
Yeah, definitely. I love KUSF, and I love... I heard that actually they went on to the Berkeley station. We're actually talking about it. What's the Berkeley radio?
KLX.
Yeah, like the DJs or the radio announcers from KUSF were just so stunned, and then they went on to the Berkeley station to actually like answer questions and voice their opinions and stuff like that. I didn't actually hear it, but I always thought of those two as kind of competitive, but it was cool that like the dudes from KUSF went over to the Berkeley station and just to be able to talk about what was going on. So that was interesting.
Probably in the same boat.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to... Got a show this Friday at Needles and Pins. Everybody that's in San Francisco. Should be really fun, zine release. And Matt's getting into hang gliding, which is pretty cool, and you start that on Wednesday.
I'm actually starting hang gliding tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Wow, awesome. So we look forward to that. We thank Matt for coming into Fecal Face, and we thank everyone that asked and emailed and Twittered and Facebooked in their questions. And if you're listening live, our next live podcast is going to be with photographer Corey Arnold, and his show is actually at Fecal Face on February 11th. And we'll probably maybe the 9th or the 10th do an interview with him. And if you're not familiar with this stuff, he gets grants to, he travels the world photographing. That's what wine does. Photographing different fishermen people in Norway and people in Alaska. And anyway, it should be a very exciting show. He's coming out with a book on Chronicle Books that will actually have some of the first copies signed by Corey Arnold at the opening. Anyway, why don't do you want to replay your mix that that we started the podcast with? And by the way, if you're just kind of jumped in the middle of this, we're gonna clean it up and put it up on our podcast sometime this week or early next week. And if you missed the musical part of tonight's events, Matt, I think, is putting it together right now. So you can listen to his industrial mix.
To all, to each, a fair good night, and pleasing dreams, and slumbers light.
Thank you, Matt. Here comes his mix. Good night, San Francisco.
Eyeball skeleton, riding down the road on a foggy day. Eyeball skeleton, riding down the road on a cloudy day. Eyeball skeleton, riding down the road on a rainy day. Eyeball skeleton, riding down the road on a sunny day. Boogeyman came in, guess what he said? He said the maple lady said you got a pointy head. The boogeyman came in, guess what he said? He said the maple lady said you got a pointy head. He went to the graveyard, he didn't know why. He saw his friends there, but he didn't say hi. He said goodbye. 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 Eyeball skeleton, riding down the road on a foggy day. Eyeball
This is Fecal Face, San Francisco, California, 2011, January 25th. Interview with Matt Furie. Signing off. Good night.